All right, guys, so this is our long-awaited instructional video, as well as we're going to cover certain legalities around this, because we get a lot of customers asking how legal this stuff is. Some people are very paranoid about this stuff. So this is our large string-bound starter kit. You get a large string-bound, you get a remote, which is over here. We already have it open, and you get a transmitter, and you get 3 fuse wires. But before we dive into how to use it, because if you look at all this stuff, you're like, all right, well, how the heck do I use this stuff? The large string bound, right? You're gonna load it with 1 pound of FFF black powder is what we recommend and what we use in our video. Now what makes this legal is the fact that this is sold as an inert container. This is essentially just very hard string that's been woven together. So this is totally empty. You could fly with this. You can ship it by air. This itself is not an explosive. Now, you're gonna load it with 1 pound of black powder, right? So once you load it with the 1 pound of black powder, and then you cork it up, you cannot, and this is the main part, what makes it non-regulated by the ATF. As long as you're using it at the place of where you loaded it, right? So if I load this string bound here and then I use it here, it's not considered explosive. It falls under the same rules and regulations of tannerite. Now, if I load this with a 1 pound of black powder and then I choose to store it or transport it, that's what makes it to where you would need a federal explosive license, so FEL. That's what makes it explosive and thereby subject to ATF rules. We also have a very nice disclaimer in the product description of all our string-bound products. So this is not an explosive unless you were to transport or store this. Now, if I load it right here and I blow it up in our shop, that is not considered explosive and it's not regulated by the ATF. Now, let's get into how to actually use this thing. So like I mentioned, every string-bound device is going to have a cork in it that I might have jammed too hard into here. These corks are meant to go in, not out. There we go. All right, got the cork out. So we're gonna ship it to you guys with the cork in it, just so the cork's not, rolling around in the box. And what we're gonna do here, so one lucky customer is gonna have a remote and transmitter synced for them, which I just realized we actually don't have a battery for. So that's fucking annoying. Do I have a little screwdriver here? No, I don't either. Okay, you know what? Cut that part out. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah. All right, guys, and what we're also doing is in the starter kits, if you were one of the first ones to order, unfortunately, you guys didn't get a funnel, but now we're including a small funnel to fit inside the string bound perfectly. And like I said, you're gonna load it with 1 pound, or I think it's about 443 grams of the FFG black powder. The one we used was the Hogden. And once you guys are loading it, you guys might get to a point where the powder is filled up, let's say to around here. So the funnel, nothing will go into the, no more powder will go into the string bound seemingly, but just shake it around. And we could probably overlay that with a video of us literally shaking the string bound around for a while. We also had a funnel that was too big, just to make sure you get the maximum amount of powder on it. Now, once the powder is in there, you're gonna take this, right? So this is your igniter wire. And we give you guys 3 for a reason. So, and I'm gonna go into that right now. So this red end is gonna go into the string bound. And this is about,
like 8 feet, right?
yeah, I would say this is about 8 feet. Maybe 8 or 10 feet. Yeah,
That's about 8 feet.
I would say it's about 8 feet. So this end is gonna go into the string bound, and then the other end, and make sure you pull this red tab back, right? This is what's gonna ignite all the black powder in here. So this end is gonna go into the string bound, and you put the cork in, right? And then you're going to attach these 2 ends. It doesn't matter which 2 ends here. So again, pull this black part back. Black is going to the transmitter, right? Sorry, this wire is a little bit, there we go. I want to expose the wire. There we go. Make sure the wire is nice and exposed. All right, boom. You'll have 2 ends. It doesn't matter which end goes into which one. Now I actually skipped ahead. So you guys, the battery specs for the remote and transmitter, this is a 9-volt battery, and this one I believe takes an 823 battery. The specs of batteries that you need are in the description. in the product description of all the string bounds. All right guys, so for this remote, you're gonna need an A23 battery. The way you put it in is just by unscrewing this guy. You need a Phillips, unscrew that, right? Then it's gonna expose exactly where the battery is gonna go. Put the battery in there, and then you'll hear an audible snap like that, and then you screw it back in. So one of you lucky customers is gonna get one that's already synced. All right, so moving into the syncing, that's your remote. You also have a slide on top of it, just for no negligent discharge of that. That would be a shame if you were anywhere near that. And then you have your transmitter. So there you go, there's a transmitter. This is easy. I wish the same thing like that. Slide it off, put your 9-volt in, right? Positive, negative, okay. Here you go, so you're gonna put that battery in, and then if you notice right here, you have off. The center section is sync/test, and then you have arm. So we're gonna sync this live for you guys, and put it right there. Now you're gonna hold this sync button, right? There you go. Hold that. All right. So it looks like there's communication between the remote and transmitter. So the way you sync it, you just hold this button for a few seconds until it's flashing. This one's already synced. It already flashed on camera, right? Yep. Okay, hold on. Try that again. There you go. So once you see the flashing, hit the remote. So hold this sync button, let it go. I believe that's what I did, right? Hold the sync button. It's already synced. There you go. So now it flashes. So now it's good. You're getting communication between the remote and the transmitter. And then now, again, why we give you guys 3 of these igniter wires is so you can actually test it. So you don't put everything in the string bound and put the igniter wire there and then nothing goes boom, because that would be a shame. Now, you have 2 tabs here, red and black. Doesn't matter which end goes into the red or the black. Make sure it's all the way in there. This wire over here, make sure it's all the way in there as well. Okay? There you go. So make sure the wires are nicely slotted in there. Again, you just pull these back and insert the wire. So now, you do want to test it, right? So this part is supposed to spark, and right, inside the string bound with all the black powder, that spark is going to create that explosive effect. So when you're using this, guys, too, don't get in on this. Don't go straight from off to arm. You have to go from off here, right? Wait till you see that green on the test, right? And then once you see green from off to the sync/test, you see the green, you can go to arm. And now when I press this remote, this should create a spark, right? So this is, you always want to test it just to make sure everything's good. Actually, yeah, it was a nice little pop. So that worked. So now we're 1 igniter wire down, but luckily in all the string bounds that you guys buy from us, you get 3 of them. So 1 down, then you'll go ahead and use the next one. Now, this is something that we were talking a little bit off camera. Do you need the glue? Maybe if you plan on putting it on its side, but honestly, if you're just leaving it on a level surface, right, you should just be able to, again, put the igniter wire in here, right? And you guys remember the right end, right? It's not the end with the 2 leads. It's the end that's gonna go and make this spark. So this goes in here. Cork it. Obviously, once this is filled with black powder, we can't fill it with black powder on camera, or else we'd have to use it. And then, right, these 2 wires in here. So hopefully that was a good explanation on the video. Again, all of this is legal, but if you do plan to transport or store it, that's when you're going to be under ATF regulations. If you have any questions, feel free to email info@lastshotaz.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.